Well, picking up from where I left off in my previous video, we're showing my CD collection. And I'm going to run through these a lot faster so I can get through them faster. So here's our country section. So we have Marty Robbins, Gunfire Ballads, George Jones, Cup of Loneliness. It's a two-disc set. The Fabulous Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire, Best of Johnny Cash. Ride This Train was sort of a story song collection. But a little hard to get in there. Johnny Cash at San Quentin, classic album. Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. Live at Madison Square Garden. And some of these I got at the Columbia House, America from the 1970s. Columbia House Record Club back in the day. And Oh Brother Where Art Thou? And now Frank Sinatra. This is one of the early Frank Sinatra albums. They remastered it. It's like originally from the 1940s, like 46 or something like that. And there was another one too that I don't have that they did. Now in the 1950s, Frank Sinatra did a lot of concept albums. Some of them were sort of ballads, like crooner type things, and then others were swinging albums. This is one of those Russian twofers that I showed in my previous video. This has a bunch of songs in it. So it has two albums. And here's another one that has some of the swinging songs. So we have Sinatra at the Sands, live album from the 1960s. The Best of the Capitol Years, selections from the box set, sort of a highlights album. Night and Day. This is sort of a budget label one, but the reason I keep it around is I like the recording of At Long Last Love on it. An Al Jolson budget label. Another Al Jolson budget label. Some of these are like re-recordings he did in like the late 40s, early 50s. The Best of the Decca Years. Laura Smith, Volume 1, 1924-1927. And Miles Davis, Round About Midnight. This is a cool one. It's a two-disc set. It also has a live recording on it. So I'll put that back up. Thelonious Monk Quartet with John Coltrane at Carnegie Hall from the 1960s, early 60s. Thelonious Monk, straight no chaser. Thelonious Monk being an interesting jazz pianist, as Duke Ellington, of course. This is like 1940s. Recordings, the classic Ellington at Newport, two CD set, which I think is like from 1957. Sort of a remastered, reconstructed version of it. Money Jungle, Duke Ellington, Charlie Mingus, and Max Roach. This is a album from like 1963. It was very interesting. At first it took me a while to get into it, but once you get into it, it's very interesting. Far East Suite, also from the 1960s. And more of a budget label type thing, it looks like. Portrait of the Andrews Sisters. The Boswell Sisters, who are from the early 30s. They predate the Andrews Sisters. A Judy Garland CD. Best of the Decca Years. And more of a budget label Judy Garland. We'll take a look at some more here. Okay, so we start back down on the bottom again. And some more of those Russian twofer CDs. This is Electric Light Orchestra, two of their early albums. This is Electric Light Orchestra 3. ELO 2 and A New World Record. On the Third Day in Discovery. So basically, almost every Electric Light Orchestra album. El Dorado and the Xanadu soundtrack. Time and Balance of Power, which were two of their later albums from the 1980s. Kiss's Destroyer and Music from the Elder, both of which were produced by Bob Ezrin. That's again a Russian CD. Suzi Quatro and Agoraphobia. And what else we got here? Badfinger album, Straight Up. I thought I also used to have No Dice. Interesting thing about this album, it has two versions of the album. One of the versions was produced by Todd Rundgren, and then others were produced by George Harrison, many of which were not released. And what else we got? Surrealistic Pillow. The second Jefferson Airplane album, I believe. I think that was the first with Grace Slick as lead singer. And we go up to T-Rex. Again, most of these are the Russian twofers. So these are two of Mark Bolan's first albums when they were actually as Tyrannosaurus Rex. And there's two more early T-Rex albums. Unicorn and Tanks. T-Rex and Bolan's Zip Gun. A Beard of Stars and the Slider. A Beard of Stars, I think, is my favorite of all T-Rex's stuff. The movie soundtrack, Born to Boogie, with Ringo Starr. It's a 2-disc set. And we also have another T-Rex way in the back here. This is Electric Warrior, and it's in a case, cardboard case type of thing. Let's see if we can take a look at it inside. It's kind of hard to do one-handed. There it is. Pretty awesome. All right, The Madcap Laughs by Syd Barrett. This is a Russian version of the album. This is something I got at a thrift store that doesn't have the cover on it, the Peel Sessions. So it has 5 sort of BBC recordings. The Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking by Roger Waters, his first solo album after leaving Pink Floyd in the 1980s. And the band Fox, Blue Hotel from the 1970s. I think this is kind of sourced from like an LP. It doesn't sound the greatest, but with lead singer Nusha Fox. And I'll put these back and we'll look at some more. Alright, and continuing the Pink Floyd theme here, we have Piper at the Gates of Dawn from 1967. Again, this is a Russian version of the album, although I do actually have it on LP as well. Soundtrack from More. Again, a Russian version of it. A Saucer Full of Secrets. This is Umaguma, or however it's pronounced. 2-CD set. Atom Heart Mother, which is one of my favorites of early Floyd. Metal. Zabriskie Point, the movie soundtrack. Dark Side of Pink Floyd, non-album songs. This is another Russian release. Obscured by Clouds. Dark Side of the Moon. And I already showed in my previous video Pink Floyd's The Wall. And The Essential Bruce Springsteen. Which doesn't really belong, but it's a thicker thing, so it fits in that spot. Alright, and we'll look at some more here. Alright, and now we go to Queen. This is Queen 2. This is another Russian twofer, Night at the Opera in the Works. My favorite Queen album from, I think it's 1973, Sheer Heart Attack. Another twofer, News of the World and the Miracle. They didn't exactly put them in chronological order, although this one comes somewhat close. Jazz and Flash Gordon soundtrack. A Kind of Magic and Single Hits 2, it says. Live at Wembley and Brian May's solo album Back to the Light. Queen Live Killers 2-CD set, when everyone was putting out a live album in the 70s. 2 Freddie Mercury solo things, Mr. Bad Guy and Barcelona. And Velvet Underground Loaded, I believe 1970, I think. This was like the final Lou Reed contribution to that. And then a Lou Reed CD, The Blue Mask, but I'm missing the booklet for it. And we'll look at some more here. And here we have Are You Experienced by Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix BBC Sessions. I picked this up pretty cheap. It was sort of a budget label type thing. It felt like $5 or something. Access Bold as Love. There's a Russian release. Some more Russian twofers. Strange Days. In fact, we'll take a look at the thing on there. You can see the replica edition of the how the record label looks. The Soft Parade and a Jim Morrison American Prayer. David Bowie's first album from 1967. Changes Bowie, its greatest hits. Procol Harum, again a 1960s Russian version. Shine On Brightly, my favorite Procol Harum because of the In Hell 'Twas an I bit. And we'll look at the Janis Joplins here. You have 2 of the Janis Joplin Russian CDs. Again, they had the nice Columbia Records label there. And here's the second Janis Joplin. Well, this has Pearl with it. This is another one. So it's pretty cool to have 4 Janis Joplin's albums on 2 CDs. Alright, and now we're at the last row of CDs. I might not be able to get through all of them in the remaining 2 minutes I have a video. Here's 11 Spoonfuls' first album, Do You Believe in Magic, from 1965. Daydream from 1966. 11 Spoonfuls' Greatest Hits. It's a whole bunch of tracks. More of the Monkees from early 67. Has some bonus tracks as well. Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones Limited from late 67. My favorite Monkees album, I believe. Whoops. The Monkees album Head from 68. The final one with Peter Tork. It has bonus tracks as well. The Monkees' Greatest Hits, the original release. Then there's a later Monkees' Greatest Hits. A lot more tracks on it. That was then, this is now on it too. And this is a one called Tutti Frutti. I got it for the All the King's Horses and All the King's Men song on there. Another of the Bob Dylan bootleg series. We'll go up here. And in the remaining minute I have left, I'm going to skip the Beach Boys stuff. We're just going to show some more here. Donovan's first album. Paul Simon's Songbook from 1965. Paul Simon's without Garfunkel. Live from New York City, 1967, of Simon and Garfunkel. Paul Simon's first solo album after the Songbook from 1971, I believe, or 70, something like that. Still Crazy After All These Years. There Goes Rhymin' Simon. Simon and Garfunkel Live 1969. Concert in Central Park. Carole King, the Carnegie Hall Concert, 1971. And Laura Nyro and the Carpenters. Well, that's it. I'll show more in the future. Thanks for watching.